Everywhere I go, people want to know, who am I? I am the live guy. All right, ladies and gentlemen, just 1 second. Check one, check two. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, moms and dads, children of all ages. My name is Tony Vicich, and you are watching Living on a Thin Line with Tony Vicich. We come to you every day at 2 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, Arizona time, which actually right now is Pacific time. It changed back to Mountain Standard Time. We are your daily distraction from all the anger, anxiety, weirdness, and hoopla in the world today. The show comes to you on 3 platforms: ComedySchoolsRadioNetwork.com, where you can just listen in like an old-timey radio, or on YouTube with the Comedy Schools channel, or right here on Facebook Live. It is on 3 platforms. It is based around 3 your questions and comments that you place on the aforementioned social media channels, which we then attempt to comment back or answer your questions. Usually some knick-knack, doodad, some piece of weirdness. Hold on, my grandson is here with me today holding the cat off screen. You can see him on YouTube. There we go. Thank you very much, Sullivan. All right. That was the cat on my head. What the hell was I saying? It's hard to think when you have a cat on your head. We also, like I said, we have some sort of thing around here that we show you. Ray could have counted as that today. The cat has been featured in that section of the show many times when we're showing you some memento or some oddity here in the room, here in the home office. And then we recommend one artist or at least one piece of music based on our vast vinyl album or CD collection. Also, we always like to mention that if you're ever in the greater Phoenix area, we are now associated with a partner in a bold new venture. Something seemed to go counterintuitive the way the world is going on today. The opening of a brand new comedy night spot. A brand new comedy night spot in Gilbert, Arizona. And when you think comedy, you think Gilbert. It is called JP's Comedy Club. Its website is JP's Comedy, jpscomedy.com. Who only got 4 hours sleep last night? This guy. We got a great headliner there this weekend, one Jonathan Gregory. If you want to see something completely different, please go check out Jonathan Gregory. That's going on there. We also have workshops going on there. Soon in November, we'll have improv workshops for you, ladies and gentlemen. People learn improv. I like improv. So if you ever say that, you ever tried stand-up, and you go, I like improv. Then we're going to have with long-time, legendary, highly respected improv coach here in the greater Phoenix area, Casa Grande, Tucson, one Ken Ferguson. We'll be starting those for you Saturday afternoons in November. And, of course, our ongoing stand-up comedy classes. So anyway, it's, Wednesday? And I don't really have a lot to say today. I have been running like the devil. And finally, I think I've ran into a little of a wall, a little worn out. So feeling a little slow today, but that's okay. I don't know. Are you getting just fatigued from everything? Are you getting fatigued from everything? Are you getting a little worn out every day you turn on the news? And I'm not saying you like Donald Trump. You don't like Donald Trump. I'm on the record about how I feel about the guy and have since the 80s. As I tell people, I didn't like him when he was a Democrat. I don't like the president of the United States in the middle of a pandemic, which, yes, if you get COVID, the great majority of people don't die. We know that. But they're very, very sick for quite a while, normally. And more people are dying from it than the flu. Well over 200,000 Americans have now passed away from this. And the only way we have to battle it is through hand washing, social distancing, and wearing masks. Those are our only tools against COVID right now. Those aren't great tools, man. That's what we got. And most of us have participated for quite some time in the social distancing aspect of it. Even here at when we have our comedy shows at jpcomedyclub.com, we're only seating less than 50% capacity, keeping people spread apart. We're wiping things down all the time. We're all wearing masks unless we're on stage. We're doing the deal. We're doing the deal. We're going, all right, this is what America has to do right now. we're chipping in. Does it make us uncomfortable? Yes. Does it cost us money? Yes. Is it bothersome? Yes. Does it make me angry sometimes when I realize I have to go through all kinds of extra hoopla to do anything? Yes. But I do it. I do it. And then I turn on my television, and there I see one Donald J. Trump with a bunch of people packed together, butt cheek to butt cheek, whooping and hollering like they're at a monster truck rally while he stands on stage and just lies.
And nobody wears masks.
What's that?
Nobody wears masks.
Nobody wears, and nobody, yeah, that's right. So it says at his rallies, no one wears masks. Nobody wears masks. Even my 8-year-old grandson sees that. The kids all know what they got to do. The kids all know. The kids are all right. That's right, Kelly Wilson. We are living on a thin line. There's a thought that if we just put a little extra more into this at the beginning, a lot less people would have died, and we'd be a lot closer to some sort of normal situation right now. If we'd have been able to so severely socially distant that the virus had no place to go, we could have decreased the amount of death, the amount of sickness, and be back to a more normal existence right now. As it is right now, it's like some sort of joke. Every time we're open. Oh, sorry, we're closed. Hey, we're going to open. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, we're closed. Listen, I don't care about no COVID. We're going to open up. We're going to be free. Nah, you know what? I'm a big fan of freedom, and I'm a big fan of irresponsibility within the sphere of irresponsibility, not sheer stupidity. So it wears you out a little bit, doesn't it? It just wears you out. And then, of course, there's an election going on. I'm just going to say this about elections. So I've been involved right now in this particular election. I'm doing my part. I'm doing my share. You know, I'll be out at the polls on election day, even though I've already voted. I'll be out there handing out little cards for a local city race here for a guy who I would like to see on the city council. I'll be out there doing that. It will. You know, and some people are going, polls are going to be crazy. Well, if they are, they are. You know, I'm not going out there to get crazy. I'm not going to be crazy, but I'm going out to participate. But everywhere now, they will spend a couple $2 billion on this election. A couple $2 billion will be spent. And I'm probably being conservative here, going all the way from local to legislative district to county to city to state house to Congress to the presidency. A couple $1 billion will be spent. Yet they're always asking for volunteers. I'll be honest with you, for a long time, even for candidates I'd like to get to volunteer, I go, no, I'm not going to volunteer. I won't be volunteering. I go, you know, they go, why not? I go, are you a volunteer? They go, well, no, I'm paid. I go, well, there you go. There you go. But this time around, I did it. So, man, it's just for some people, I don't know if you guys are just going through some fatigue through all of this. You know, the economy's still dicey. Here's the real sad part about the economy right now. I know it's a comedy show. Why are you talking about sad? Well, I don't know. It's not really a comedy show. It's a daily distraction. I don't know if it's so much of a distraction. But some people have done very well during this time. Who hasn't done well? That part that keeps our soul alive is the one that has really struggled. The part that allows us to commingle with other people. The part that is the payoff for the hard work. The vacation has struggled. The night out has struggled. The places where you can engage in camaraderie with people, that struggles. The music business struggles. The theater business struggles. The acting business struggles. The comedy business struggles. Because let's be honest, ladies and gentlemen, okay, we all have jobs that, you know, I kind of came from that generation first that we're going, you know what, my life is my job. And it's my career. My career is everything. Well, you know what, that's kind of gone by the wayside again now. People don't really live totally like that anymore. People realize that there is work and then there's fun. And since work has became so anxiety-ridden over the years, as your job became an engine for social engineering, we're going to be watching a video right now on why the shoes you're wearing may upset someone who's never going to come here. You go, I did a good job. Yes, but you stared at somebody for more than 3 seconds Tuesday last at 4 p.m. We're going to have to let you go because you were eye fucking them. The social aspect of America become even more important. To gather together at football stadiums and basketball stadiums and baseball stadiums and hockey stadiums and to go out and be in large crowds and large groups and be able to go listen to bands and records and music and go to bars and restaurants. Gather when someone's coming into town, go, oh, we know a good restaurant. We don't go, hey, we got a good project for you to work on. We're all digging a ditch. Go, hey, we know a great restaurant. That part of the economy has suffered. I was in LA recently. Someone asked me, what's LA like right now? I go, well, it breaks my heart because I love that city. And I have so many people that I love in that city. And I said, right now, Los Angeles is like a giant birthday cake that's had the top layer cut off. All there. You know what I mean? All the fillings there. Who likes the filling? We love the icing. We like the little doodads on it. We like how pretty it looks. We like the name being sprayed on the birthday. All of that, the designs, the little people standing up on it. That's all been cut off. The cake is still there. You can still have cake in LA. There's just no icing and no top. And I can't help but thinking that if there had been a different guy sitting in the big chair in the big house, that the whole trajectory of testing, tracing, treatment, vaccine would have moved along a little quicker, and we'd be in a little better shape right now than we actually are. Anyway, it wears me out sometimes, man. I just get a little tired. I get a little tired. And you see craziness beginning. You see people's anxiety is risen up. You know, I've been involved in a little local election here for a board of directors and a homeowner association. And it's a place where I know people and people know me and I like people and I wave at them. But because of Facebook and because of people being home with more free time on their hands and because of anxiety and because of fear, because of paranoia, it has become insanity. The things I read about me on Facebook, anybody knows me goes, yeah, you know, I can see where people would write some shit about you. You're kind of a troublemaker sometimes. But part of it I attribute to that, to just this madness that's going on right now. But we do our part, man. We do our part to try to lift that up. That's why people go, how can you tell jokes during a time like this? How can you have comedy during a time like this? We need laughter. We need irreverence. We need silliness. We need goofiness. We need joy. We need wink, wink, nudge, nudge. We need chortle. We need all of it during a time like this to help see us through. So I try to keep my sense of humor intact, kept my crew, my team, my business, my students, my friends, my cohorts intact, you know, and we are moving forward, man. I'm so looking forward to tonight when at 6 p.m. I'll be teaching. Last night, I taught an advanced stand-up comedy class live in person at JP's Comedy Club, 860 East Morning Road, where Jonathan Gregory will be performing this weekend. Tonight, I'll be doing an advanced class on Zoom. So I'll be able to sit home and do it. And that's going to be pretty darn cool. I have a guest in the right here, right now, if he's going to do it right without knocking over the entire studio. And if you'll, I believe it's...
the entire studio.
It's what?
The entire studio.
Okay. All right. There's someone under my chair. There he is, ladies and gentlemen. There he is. There he is. My current opponent in my race for the board of directors for Maricopa's Homeowner Association. It's Jason, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much, Jason. Thank you. You may go now. Fantastic. It's figuring out how we're going to do Halloween right now. There's this family that lives next door to me, and they are just great people. And they got 3 of the cutest little kids, 3 little girls who just talk to me all the time and tell me what's going on with them. I'm out there talking with their mom, talking with them, doing a reverse trick or treat. That's her mom says. The girls want to know if they can do a reverse trick or treat, where instead of you giving them treats, they'll come over and leave something at your door. I said, you're darn tootin'. I see people going, I don't care, we're having Halloween. Well, first off, Halloween has never been for you, not in modern America. Halloween is not for grown-ups, it's for kids. Halloween comes from fall festivals and from what's commonly known as pagan superstitions, and it used to be just a fun thing where kids dressed up in cute costumes and their parents thought they only went around and got candy. Then somewhere, some girl dressed up like a prostitute one night went to a party, and the cops are going to arrest her. She went, it's a costume. We're doing Halloween. I'm not a whore. You look like, it's a costume. And then some guy came up with her pimp, and he was a crushed velvet jacket. He goes, yeah, this is a costume too. And that's how grown-ups dressing up for Halloween started. It was a pimp and a prostitute trying to get out and getting busted. Then grown-ups started dressing up. We're going to dress up for Halloween. Really? Really? Okay. So people, we're having Halloween, and we're sending our kids to strangers' houses, even though there's a pandemic that 8 million people have been infected by, and probably 400,000 people died from by the end of the year. I still want my kid to get a Snickers bar and get that. How badly do you want your kid to have an apple with a razor in it? Is this whole push to have kids be able to go out and trick or treat on Halloween? Parents hoping their children will get poisoned? I don't know. Maybe. Yes, Jason? Maybe.
Or they could get scared to death.
They could get scared to death. So we're doing Halloween a little different. Okay? It'll be more of a family affair. It's a family affair. So we won't, maybe we'll start a trend of not sending our kids to strangers' houses while we stand a couple blocks away and see what happens. You ever see that? Like you see, we don't have a big lawn, but we've got a lawn from the front door to the sidewalk. There's a distance, and parents will bring their kids by. And the parents will stand way out on the sidewalk and have the kids come up and knock on the door. And I'm looking up and going, what do they want? Like the parents are watching, go, maybe they'll take them. Maybe they'll just grab them, put them in the door, and we'll never see them again. And then we can finally go to Fiji for a holiday. I don't know. The whole thing's always been weird to me. I don't need a holiday to eat too much bad food. I'll tell you that right now. All right, man, let's get to the stuff because I got good stuff today. I found this at a comic book store, and I'm going to share it with you. The artwork is fantastic. There it is. This is a Charlton comic, okay, and it is called Midnight Tales, okay, and comic books, which still play an important part in American life, okay, they play an important part in American life, all right, played a much bigger role in young boys' life, at least, back in the 40s, 50s, and 60s, and Midnight Tales, while not being one of the major ones, was an important one. So Midnight Tales were the stories of a professor and his extremely attractive niece. And they would then get involved in all sorts of strange goings-on that were macabre and mysterious. And this one has to do with the mummy and bringing the mummy to life. And somehow interwoven in that, a guy who is a fake guru living somewhere in Nepal who tricks women to come in there and being his slave girls. But then he gets caught. So the artwork in Charlton Comics was fantastic. It rivaled anything Marvel or DC was doing at the time. This comic was from the mid-'70s. By then, I was not really reading comic books, but it really has the same sort of art that we saw in creepy comics like EC and stuff when I was a little kid. Charlton Comics is most notable for one major thing in the world of comic books. For decades upon decades, the price of a comic book that looks similar to this was 10 cents. 10 cents. And then in 1962, everybody raised it up to 12 cents. DC, Marvel, everyone 12 cents, except Charlton. They were the last one to do it. The guy who created Spider-Man, originally Steve Ditko, one of the creators, originally worked for Charlton Comics. So if you just want to look them up, man, on the internet, it's just kind of cool to look back, and it really gives you a look into America, not only because of the comic books. And this comic followed what was the comic book code, which is really a strict comic book code about what could and couldn't be put in a comic book. So they're always bumping up against that. Hold on, I got something here. If I can find it, I will read to you about this. I might have lost it. Here we go. Okay. This is what critic Mark Andrews said about Midnight Tales and Charlton Comics. Old dude in his sexy neats traipse across the countryside, bumping into oddball characters who invariably have a story to tell. Sadly, since Charlton didn't want to do anything that offended your average 9-year-old, that's the average age of a comic book reader, you could feel this book fighting against the uber restrictive comics code. Kind of sad, really. What is good, however, are the artists in this book. Easily the equal of anyone working at Marvel or DC at the time. Okay, you got Wayne Howard, probably the most deft practitioner of the Wally World School ever. So if you're looking for offbeat, you're looking for different. If you're not using drugs and alcohol or driving 120 miles an hour and you're still looking for something strange, hold on, I got a hand up over here. We're getting a hand up. Then check out Charlton Comics. Just look them up. The artwork on it is just fantastic. Sullivan, did you have a question or comment?
Who's Sullivan?
Who's Sullivan? Okay, good. All right.
But
yes, Jason.
back in my day, when we didn't have comic books.
Yeah. When you did have comic books.
Well, we didn't. Yeah.
You didn't have comic books.
He's in character.
All right.
Who's in character?
All right, let's go on to the music. We were just getting some
We
information.
just killed people for entertainment.
You just did what?
We just killed people for entertainment.
Yeah.
But that wasn't me.
There's a lot of that still goes on. We're going to edit that
My
part.
story is tragic.
We just killed people for entertainment. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get on to the music, shall we? There, you know what? You saw my finger up there like that? My stockbroker was calling me. That's right. A guy who looks like me as a stockbroker. Here's the music we're going to talk about today. We're working with a CD today, not an album. We're going with a CD today. And that CD is a CD that opened up a whole new world of music for me. And it's called Last Chance for 1,000 Years, Dwight Yoakam's greatest hits from the 90s. Now, if you don't know Dwight Yoakam, I'm telling you, you are missing out. Dwight Yoakam is a fascinating character in the history of American music. Kentucky boy, seemed to do well. I think he went to college. You know, he didn't have a lot of privation in his life, but many around him did. Went to Nashville to be a singer-songwriter. Didn't work out. And then inexplicably, and this is the part that never made any sense to me. I'm not saying that makes no sense. Never made sense. He was a country singer, and it didn't work out in Nashville, so he decided to move to Los Angeles. Now, when you think country music, you don't think Los Angeles. And even beyond that, when he moved to Nashville, he wanted to play a hillbilly sound, the stuff that his dad listened to when he was a kid on an old-time radio or in a 1955 Dodge, you know. That's what he wanted to play, stuff that Levy Frizzell did, stuff like that. And they weren't buying it in Nashville because it was all that urban cowboy stuff. It was all like, looking for love in all the wrong places. It was that. It was Eddie Rabbit. That's what was going on in Nashville. So he was too much of a rube for Nashville and thinks, well, then I guess I'll just move to Los Angeles. But somehow it worked because what he brought on the stage was an excitement and an energy and that danger that music can bring sometime to the rock and roll stage. He's working with X. He's working with the Blasters. During the rise of the very kind of unique LA punk scene. He's working on stages with them, and he's walking out in a nudie suit with a cowboy hat, with a swagger and a sneer, and playing music. And he said, I was amazed myself. People go, well, no, I'm playing. He goes, I'm playing rock and roll clubs, and they're loving it. But we weren't playing rock and roll. We were playing hillbilly music. He goes, I guess it was the energy. The energy was stunning. Also, he had come across a guy named Paul Anderson, I believe, who was a brilliant guitarist. Dwight Yoakam hired Paul Anderson to be his guitarist. Dwight Yoakam then promptly moved into Paul Anderson's laundry room. And these guys damn near starved as they put it together, and they talked their drummer into putting up money for their first self-produced EP, Guitars and Cadillacs. Then they went to New York and played someplace, and people were singing along to the songs. That's what Paul Anderson said. I knew I knew that we were now gonna make a living. People knew who we were. Yes, Sullivan?
So I think Jason is gone. But
What's that?
I think Jason is gone, but after
Jason is gone.
But after you talk about that, you should probably tell them how comic books started out. They probably know, but I mean it'll still be.
We're going to talk about that tomorrow. Tomorrow we'll talk about how comic books started. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Excellent. Paul Anderson was an important part of. We'll go back to that right now. Paul Anderson was an important part of the Dwight Yoakam sound. Some people say without Paul Anderson there'd be no Dwight Yoakam. He had Paul Anderson from Detroit, Dwight Yoakam from Kentucky. They somehow put something together. I'm trying to keep my equipment from falling apart here. And it created a unique sound. Dwight Yoakam falls in that category of singer-songwriter, to me, similar to Emmylou Harris, possibly Linda Ronstadt, where they all three of them cover a lot of other people's music. Emmylou and Linda didn't write their own songs. Dwight certainly did, but covered a lot of the people's music. But every cover they do is either better or unique in a way that it's enjoyed equally, same as the original. Just stunningly good stuff from Dwight Yoakam. I'm a big Dwight Yoakam fan. He has his own channel on Sirius Radio. If you ever got it, I encourage you to listen to it. The song we're going to recommend today, not one of his first big hits, Streets of Bakersfield. The song we're going to recommend today that we think will get you to listen to him and dig him a little more is going to be a cover, okay? I'm looking to see if I got it here on this. His cover of Suspicious Minds. And I know that's bold because there's always an argument. What was the better version of Suspicious Minds? Elvis Presley, Waylon Jennings, Fine Young Cannibals. I'm going to put forward a gutsy statement and say that Dwight Yoakam's version of Suspicious Minds is clearly the best. You get to hear that guitar sound. You get to hear what these guys, Dwight and his band, brought to a record. And you'll be able to hear that energy and excitement that he brought to everything where he put his own twist on it. So Suspicious Minds by Dwight Yoakam is the song we're going to recommend today. And that's all for today. We're going to see you tomorrow one more time at 2 p.m. And we're going to talk about the origin of comic books because it was suggested by my grandson. So we will. We'll see you tomorrow at 2 p.m. You've been watching Living on a Thin Line. Bye-bye.
I also have a limited edition comic book.
Mm-hmm.
That I'm making right now.
Cool.
Am I still on?